So the petition to strip Jon Jones of the undisputed heavyweight title has finally reached 100,000 signatures.
Bruh.
So today we're going to be going through other things in the UFC that need a petition that us as the MMA fan base need to sign to show to the UFC that this just isn't good enough anymore. So let's start off with the first petition that we need. One, to close the Apex. Look, this at one point in time was one of the best things the UFC have ever done. When the world shut down to the common cold, the UFC Apex allowed the UFC to continue to have fights. Now, I like the UFC Apex for the likes of the Contender series, for if they film The Ultimate Fighter there. I don't know where they film that anymore. I haven't watched that show and I couldn't tell you how long. I don't know who actually does watch it anymore. But the UFC Apex has a purpose for things like that. It doesn't have a purpose for actual fight night cards anymore, because the UFC has got so lazy with their matchmaking. The UFC Apex cards are ass. Now, I live in the UK, so for me to stay up and watch a UFC Apex card, it's not even worth my fucking while. It's not even worth ruining the next 2 days, because they start at like 2 in the morning, the main card. They're ass. They've got maybe 2 exciting fights throughout the entire card. And I'm not going to be gaslit here by people in the comments that be like, you're not a true hardcore. The Apex Fight Night cards, they're so awesome, man. Macy Barber's headlining this weekend. There's so many cool matchups. What have I done? There's not cool matchups on the Apex cards, okay? You just gaslit me that much and nearly fucking destroyed my setup. I nearly ruined the whole thing I've got going here. But yeah, the Apex cards are ass. They're lazy. We're not getting fun matchups. You've got like Roman Dolidze fucking Marvin Vettori 2 headlining. Like, prelim headliner at best on a shit pay-per-view. It's ass. We don't need it anymore. Start taking these events to different cities like you used to do. You're gonna build I know it's a multi-billion organization and doesn't need me, some random YouTuber, telling them how to run their business, but it will help grow. It will help grow the UFC, having them in these different locations. And I know they probably save so much money having the Apex, but the tickets are so expensive. It's just Dana White's rich friends. There's no atmosphere. The fights are ass. You notice such a difference from Apex Fight Night cards to actual crowded Fight Night cards, because the events are just so much better. The fights are more exciting. The crowd does matter. The UFC Apex, it served its purpose. The world's not shut down anymore. Keep it for Contender series, yes. Keep it for Ultimate Fighter if they use it for that, yes. Let's move past Apex cards. They're ass and it's just lazy matchmaking. Petition to close the Apex for actual UFC events. Moving on now. A petition to not have this matchup be made is definitely what we need, but this is to cover the whole wide range of dog shit UFC matchmaking recently. It's been ass. Like, do we have we employed Stevie Wonder to start matchmaking? Like, is he just sitting there going, yeah, their name feels nice and braille, let's pick him? Is that what we've got here? Have we got blind people matchmaking? Because the matchups don't make any sense. Yair versus Volk 2, ass. Doesn't make any sense. Movsar Evloev versus Aaron Pico doesn't make any sense at all. At all. None whatsoever. Aaron Pico wasn't even a big star in Bellator, so why is he getting an immediate number 1 contender fight in the UFC? Dog shit, doesn't make any sense. Merab versus O'Malley 2 doesn't really make much sense either. Now, because the UFC's matchmaking has been so shit for other things, the Merab O'Malley 2 fight's kind of going under the radar, but I haven't forgot about it. This also covers rankings as well. Whoever's behind the matchmaking, the ranking system, sack every single one of them. Get rid of them right now as we speak. Sack them right now. When you go, and again, the featherweight division, they've got the worst rankings in any division I've ever seen in my life. Off the top of the dome here, you've got Elliot Topuria in at number 3, but Max Holloway's number 1.
Bruh.
Okay, you've got Yair Rodriguez joint 4th with Movsar Evloev.
Huh?
You've got David Onama in the rankings below Giga Chikadze when he just beat Giga Chikadze.
I need the Max win.
You know, so the UFC matchmakers, the UFC ranking builders, get rid of them. But yeah, this solely needs a petition though as well. Like, Volk versus Yair 2 is awful. It's dog shit. It doesn't do anything for Volk. Like, Volk has like 2 fights at best. Like, if Volk loses to Yair Rodriguez, he retires. And if Volk fucking retires to Yair Rodriguez, I think my fucking face will melt. I'd actually probably take a fucking bath in battery acid if Yair Rodriguez becomes champion. Because I couldn't cope with that. And like, could you imagine Yair Rodriguez retires Volkanovski? Holy shit. Like, I know Movsar Evloev is pretty boring and not a lot of people like him, but at least he's undefeated. Like, does Movsar kind of have that Khabib Nurmagomedov aura? Now, before you get in the comments and say no, I know Khabib had finishes and stuff in the UFC and Movsar doesn't, but he's got that undefeated aura. He's like 19-0 now on a crazy win streak. Is Movsar about to be the featherweight Khabib? Serious question, I'm asking it. But yes, this is another petition. The matchmaking and the ranking system, how they're doing the rankings, those people need to be sacked immediately. So a petition to sack those people. Moving on, next we've got, you might be going, why have you got UFC 304 on screen? I'll tell you right now. A petition to stop having UK events at American times. This goes for any event outside of the US. Stop putting them on American times. I understand, but that's where the pay-per-view numbers come from, bro. The American audience is their biggest audience. Don't hold events then in other places. People might disagree with me on that one, but it is true. Like, UFC 304, why was that like 4 in the morning? Like, America gets about 65 gazillion events a year. The UK gets 2 at a push, and you had one of them at American time. Same with Australia. They're fighting at like fucking, is it 7 in the morning? Like, come on. You have one event there a year. Like, but when it's Abu Dhabi, they're on UK time, which I'm happy with. Don't be changing that. But you can do it for Abu Dhabi, but you can't do it for the UK. The UK has a bigger audience than what Abu Dhabi does. Same with the Australian market as well. It's bullshit. If you're going to the likes of the UK, anywhere in Europe, have it at their peak time. Don't have it at peak time for America. Like, who's paying $100 in America to watch the UFC anyway? Out of curiosity, someone just let me know in the comments if you're American. Who the fuck is paying $100 to watch that? I wouldn't pay $100 to watch any UFC event ever. No way would I be paying for that. $100? Or now maybe the wages are different. I'm from the UK. You can let me know in the comments. £100. Is that the equivalent to £100? It's something like that. But let's just say £100, the equivalent in the UK. Not on your fucking life will I pay £100 to watch a UFC event. I actually struggle to pay £20 when I have to in the UK, which is very rare to watch it. I actually have midnight sweats the night before, figuring out, am I going to pay for it or not? That's the type of shit I go through, never mind $100. But yes, petition, if you're going somewhere, have it at their time. Stop dicking about, change it. Boom. This right here, this goes for the promotional side of the UFC. Let's get a petition so they promote stuff better. This right here is awesome. Like, this is so underrated. I know it's getting a bit of praise now from the likes of MMA Guru and all, but Darren Till's face-off with Jorge Masvidal. Now, these guys didn't have crazy beef, but it just built up, like, hype for this matchup. It really did. Now, I know John Jones DC done something similar, where they had, like, Joe Rogan in the middle. They weren't face-to-face. I think the face-to-face aspect is so much better. But that builds so much, like, buzz for fights. It really does. This is what boxing fights are ass compared to your average boxing fight is not as good as your average MMA fight, but the way boxing is able to promote their fighters and promote their events is like so much better than the UFC. For example, Devin Haney's got millions of followers. I would rather fucking watch paint dry than watch that guy fight. But it has a massive following because of the way he's promoted, and he's dog shit to watch. Complete ass. But again, this goes to the promotional side of it. Like, one that just sticks out to me, could you imagine Diego Lopez, Yair Rodriguez face to face? Now, I don't understand any Espanol at all, okay? I don't know Spanish. But they would have someone translate. Like, I wouldn't want someone like dubbing them, speaking over the top of them. Just give me subtitles. But could you imagine Yair Rodriguez, Diego Lopez face to face? Absolute fireworks. And why can't the UFC do this? Instead they're going, Hey, Bilal, cover your eyes, bro. What's in this bag? What's in this bag? I think it's milk. I think it's a bag of milk. Oh my god, what emoji are you, Pantoja? What emoji is Pantoja? Are you fucking winding me up? Yeah, petition to have better promotion. Face-offs, they're the way forward. Moving on, that's just a quick one. John Anik, to host press conferences. I think he's so much better at doing it than Dana White. He actually lets the press conferences go on so the media can actually get their bullshit questions out of the way first and then get actual fun questions. Again, bringing back Diego Lopez, Jair Rodriguez. John Anik let the press conference go on a bit, which meant we were able to get that moment. If that was Dana White up there, he'd be stood there going, "What's the question, kid? When am I coming back to Miami? Maybe next year." And then the media member will go, "Volkanovski, I have a question for you. Alright guys, so we don't have any more questions for me. No more questions for Dana White. Peace out guys. Love the city. See you on Saturday night. Buy the pay-per-view. Bye guys." And he closes it up after like fucking 2 seconds. John Anik lets it run. He's obviously more interested in being in the UFC than what Dana White is. John Anik running press conferences. Petition that, please. And finally, the heavyweight division. Can we have a petition to actually have someone take care of the heavyweight division? I don't mean like John Jones, Tom Aspinall shit. We know that needs to be taken care of. But I mean like, can we get a Dana White Contender series for heavyweights? Like just one season for heavyweights? Can we get people actually just... I don't care if they're so dog shit, a load of them. Get more fighters from the heavyweight regional scene in. Like, I think the heavyweight has got like 21 fighters or something in the division. Like, outside of the rankings, you couldn't name me a single fighter. No one could. I'm trying to think if I could name you one quickly on the fly. Let me see. Don't tell me this. Right, there's one. But, I mean, like, why can't we do a contender series that specifically is for heavyweights? Get a lot of heavyweight talent in, because the heavyweight division can be one of the best the UFC has. Massive guys swinging massive punches. Pause, sounds a bit weird. Guaranteed knockout in most fights, to be honest. You know, it's the division where you are on the edge of your seat because the guys are so big, pause, that one punch can literally change it. Like, you might be watching a fight where it's like, but fuck, this guy's not as... like, for example, Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades is so much better than Derek Lewis, but because Derek Lewis is massive and has that one-shot KO power, you've seen it. The fight just completely flipped on its head when he landed one punch in Curtis Blades. It's a very exciting division that needs a bit of TLC, tender love and care. So let's have a Contender Series season dedicated for the heavyweight division. Let's go out and look at the regional scene and get the good heavyweights in. Even if they're not good, let's just bulk up this division. Who's a heavyweight prospect anybody's looking forward to see? Taliesin Teixeira, who's fighting Derek Lewis. The guy had one fight in the UFC and he's ranked.
Bruh.
You know what I mean? He had one fight in the UFC, he's ranked. The Tafa brothers, ass, boring as hell. You've got fucking 500-pound Tai Tuivasa on a fucking 11-fight losing streak, ranked number 10.
Bruh.
It's the worst division in the UFC right now. It is headlined by the worst champion in UFC history. John Jones' heavyweight champion is awful. He is the worst champion we have ever seen in UFC history. I don't care what anybody says. But the heavyweight division, let's get some... Let's just bulk it up. You know what I mean? Let's fluff it up. Let's get a couple of guys in the regional scene in. You know what I mean? I think those are good petitions. Let me know in the comments below what petitions you think we should start as an MMA fan base. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I appreciate the support as always, and I'll see you again in the next one.